Hello, class. My name is Deontay Sneed, and for my persuasive speech, I will speak about world hunger and the multitude of ways that we could end it. According to census.gov, currently on Earth, there are approximately 7.5 billion people across 7 continents. 820 million of them are dealing with world hunger, according to a report by Xinhua of the Chinese Daily. That's nearly 14% of the world's population. There are millions of parents, children, and babies starving in the world today, and that shouldn't be the case anymore with the amount of money and resources that are available across the world. Of the 820 million dealing with world hunger, nearly half of them originate in only 3 countries. Those 3 countries are China, India, and the United States, which, according to macro trends, have the largest populations in the world. China leads the world with 1.39 billion people, followed by India with 1.35, and then the United States with 327 million, which is a pretty significant drop compared to the other 2 countries. According to India Food Banking Network, India leads the world with 194.4 million undernourished, which is 14% of their population. That's crazy. Next is China, which has 150 million that are undernourished. Then the United States with 40. And while those three are, the biggest in terms of population of people that, are starving and dealing with a multitude of issues, including, money and such. There are other countries that have way higher population percentage, and those countries are really underdeveloped, and they really, really need our help. There are many ways that world hunger is being combated, but from my research, there are 3 ways that are slowly but eventually will stop this issue of world hunger. The first, which is the most obvious, is donating to hunger organizations. Hunger organizations, I know you see them all the time, whether it be, on commercials or, handing out flyers or, issues in newspaper, but, they really work. Um, they really work, and those organizations get millions upon millions of dollars, and they do a lot of great work in the world. There are a lot of countries that um, are hit by tornadoes and floods and all sorts of natural disasters, and sometimes those governments aren't able to give aid to their people, and so that's where these organizations come in, and they pass out food, and they help with shelter, and they help with medical facilities, and they just do a lot of good around the world. The second, uh, in terms of stopping world hunger, is government intervention. There are many countries that don't really have governments. They don't really have established political, uh, situations. They just do what they do. But in other countries like North Korea, they they have they have a communist government, but their country is starving, and the reason that their country is starving is because their government is hoarding all the food. Their government is hoarding all the money. They're basically forcing these farmers to farm and then taking a lot of their money and taking a lot of their food from them, and a lot of North Korea is starving. There are many countries that are just like North Korea, in which they have money and they have food, but instead of sharing that food with other with the population, they're instead of hoarding the food, and it really causes an issue in that country, and it shouldn't really be happening. um, the third way that I've really seen that really, really stops world hunger is empowering women. And you would think that, like, what does empowering women have to do with stopping world hunger? Well, let me tell you, um, empowering women, especially when it comes to getting them education, is very key, because uh, studies, multitude of studies have shown that when women receive education, um, instead of focusing on, you know, staying at home or kids or husband, they're more focused on their work. They're more focused on uh, pursuing whatever field they want to pursue. They're more focused on, dominating and really stepping up in their field and making a lot of money, which in turn cuts uh, birth rates. As you see with China, China has been doing this thing where they've been forcing families to only have one kid, and as that has halted their their population growth, it has also halted their the amount of people that are starving in China, because China, out of all the countries that I mentioned, with the United States and with India, they're the only country that is actually showing growth in stopping world hunger. So yeah, uh, this has been my speech. Those are the three ways that we can stop world hunger, and that is all.